the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Lawyer Ampaw etiefo watenasina or the Nsem Atuguba afa Atuguba. Yaka Atuguba Supreme Court judge on retirement now. Yenye be kaya ya kai emra election petition ekoye. Ana Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia etakunyam. Ya kai Samia Uku ene the late Sir John Ochom Contempt na ensem oditudwan enne de eduru so. Lawyer Ampaw say ensem Atuguba kan de straight away a contemptuous as the Supreme Court ekositina omo to ensa e dragging back no oba be yiri one come here say o call retirement no ne NDC party ne de water omo chenchirechi onfa ni agro ni refi say oye former Supreme Court judge as say the bench tem bi obe defending rather on mum na e condemn bench na uti ensama Justice Williams Atuguba edi atudwa etifo oye mkra be show je say opeso che say the Supreme Court ye no omo anya ade kora na eno na Lawyer Ampaw say this is contemptuous. It's ya emra na very dangerous. Till Lawyer Atuguba say there be sure say by next week on we Supreme Court beton safrena etifo emane nyom monwa na etifo yenchen yenko negotiate Lawyer Ampaw ensema oditudwa ene inchirichiri mo de pai efasa negotiate mra
judicial dealing no so did die no bu emano Supreme Court entertaining atimidie any bibi be undermining the authority and bibi so be exposed to public ridicule and because at the end of the day the Supreme Court no that is any your last hope. Anytime you coup we normally do away with coup makers. They can do away with the executive. You talk about Gua, so I don't shut down parliament. In fact, almost dissolve parliament. But Adibakwa coup makers, a sustaining of the most judiciary. Since time memorial, could be a new war. Coup maker say, oh, may the judiciary not have to form down. Because that institution, one, a political, meaning omunye politics, omunye public servants, and if you so omunye na, because omunye kufu bi omasuyambra na amukukura mara na if you so oma practicing law no for so many years, administrative justice for so many years, and so omunye kufu bi they are few, and judges and lawyers they are not many, and only be justice. In order to ensure say we resolve disputes in our country, and judiciary was special role be a player and say bibi may undermine the authority of the judiciary. Now before man person Ghana for and kakra producer but just Atuguba bra election petition kosono the way akakre bi officer here dealt with the people.
And the previous warnings of this court concerning contemptuous comments, utterances, and attitudes towards this apex court of Ghana, issued just on the 24th day of June 2013. He has apologized and withdrawn the same before this court, and has further undertaken to repeat the retraction by 6 p.m. today. We have also considered with admiration the pleas put in on his behalf, both in chambers and in open court by lead counsel for the parties on both sides of this case. We have, however, noted with great concern the steady decline of respect for the authority of the judiciary, the third arm of government of this country, over the past years. It appears that the warnings of this court, particularly that of the 24th day of June 2013, have not been taken seriously. It is quite apparent that the pompous show of private power in the pursuit of the right to engage in political organizations and activity by which the passions of the humble members of society are stirred up on deliberately false political propaganda is a recipe for chaos and conflict in this country. We have seen the Kenyan precedent in this context, and much as we are concerned not to exercise our undoubted powers as a court of law with iron fist, we cannot allow the emergence of over 90 subjects in this country, as we said on the 24th day of June 2013. However, in order to show that we mean well for this country with regard to the exercise of our awesome powers, we have decided to stop short of invoking our powers of contempt, and we invoke in the alternative our power to control the attendance of our proceedings as a public court by members of the public. We take judicial notice of the fact that Mr. Samuel Awuku has been attending the proceedings of this court in this ongoing case. We think that the exclusion of Mr. Samuel Awuku from attending the proceedings of this court for the rest of the duration of this case should suffice for a start in this direction. That is our delivery.
Thank you.
Now, we've given you full opportunity to demonstrate how mighty you are, and we hope you've done so.
My Lord,
Do you now realize your real size in this country?
Yes, my Lord.
Good. You are discharged.
Thank you, my Lord.
Justice William Atuguba. Yes, you see the way Justice Atuguba presiding over the Supreme Court, the judiciary, or dealing with Samuel Awuku and MPP elements. Committee contempt. Feni di no bo ama Supreme Court judges no. That be free from the reading of the judgment no. The book free say politicians mu mwadie na mu fu say o man e modia. Mu pese mu di respect no bo ma judiciary no. Enti no in fact or send a signal and baby I am about say John de no o detain that term reduce no to the level e send a signal na Ghana nya hunde ekoso na ye nia edi ni die no bu e ma judiciary no. Now what is happening today? The same judiciary headed by the Chief Justice Tokunu Atina case so involving Afedoma case and the Attorney General and the Speaker of Parliament. Now the same Supreme Court judges 5 a rule say almost jurisdiction have been properly been invoked, meaning case na ye file woman no ye file woman nya copies almost share the proceedings, almost share documents no, almost share the process no, almost come to a conclusion 5-0 say 1 the applicant no are invoking jurisdiction in terms of interpretation of the constitution, and the 2 no almost facts and the evidence before almost say just when I say Speaker of Parliament is trying to breach the constitution. In fact, we're breaching the constitution because the question of interpretation ama what taking decision here was led to the sacking of 4 MPs. And you know, based on that, no, to me say best topple the breach no under Article 1 and 2 and the Article 130 of our Constitution. 5 Supreme Court judges like Justice Atuguba over 2 or more no retire. Now, Justice Atuguba after retirement, now the Supreme Court have spoken, and people the same way Justice Atuguba can say na Ghana for Mumbu Court no. Among for starting say omudidi Supreme Court for the judges na term. People as among for can kwasi asem ebi ni say atuk when say mama yariga mama yariga MP ono over fraud cases bebre wo court. Just say Supreme Court judges they are not knowledgeable. If I Sami Ukumun Sami Jentimu, the kind of things that attack these Supreme Court judges and the Supreme Court undergo because of a ruling and an order. In the midst of all this, Justice Atuguba didn't see the need. Say people are misbehaving. Among for undermining the authority of the Supreme Court, he didn't see. Said they are insulting and engaging in contemptuous behavior. And now worry tie. And in retirement, no. Justice Atuguba granted an interview as a judge. Know what I know? Say, who a judge? You don't speak to the public. You must hold that position in high esteem. I am misconduct. Say a judge grants interviews. Judge, I share your opinion. And can a former Supreme Court judge about retirement. Instead of rallying behind your colleagues, and these colleagues have come under serious political attack. They are being insulted. And the kind of language being used against Justice Tokonu and the 4 eminent Supreme Court judges, jurists. Judge Atuguba sit down, grant interview to NDC Apparachi Station, TV3, and yente that Judge Atuguba kanye. Pachobo, then
in what over this matter is wrong. They don't have original jurisdiction. You see, original jurisdiction means invoking the court at first instance. That's original. But they have referred jurisdiction in the sense that from even this matter, because if a constitutional provision comes up which is not plain and straightforward, requiring interpretation, Article 130, which gives interpretative power and the enforcement power to the exclusive to the Supreme Court, says that if a question relating to those issues arises in a court lower than the Supreme Court, the lower court shall stay the proceedings and refer the matter to the Supreme Court for determination, and then shall dispose of the matter before them in accordance with the interpretation. Once Article 99 has entrusted vacation of this matter to the High Court, the Supreme Court to say you don't just go straight at first instance to invoke it in a matter like this, but it has referred jurisdiction if an issue of interpretation related to the Constitution arises.
You see, my problem with Justice Atuguba, a judge, what call retirements. You have colleagues, judges who are not on retirement. Your junior sister, Justice Tokonu, has started with other 4 eminent Supreme Court judges like you. And at your time, I was sitting on the election petition, Justice Atuguba told the whole people of Ghana, say, hey, court kasa, young Kesebi. And now being new point say, obey it to twasem, edidi atem. And he said, John, and it's a me wuku, hope say doyemo, and Atubiga, and others are, misbehaving, they were dragged to the Supreme Court and disciplined. And people cried FAC jail term. Now where comes the same Justice Atuguba on no acco retirement. Now case that was filed, no. He is not part of the panel members. In fact, the process will be answered, Justice Atuguba does not have any of the court processes. The application, any exhibitor that was filed at the Supreme Court, was brought to the notice of the current Chief Justice and the 4 Supreme Court judges who sat on the matter. They had the jurisdiction to hear the matter, and they were seized with all the facts and the information. Excuse me. There's Atuguba over retirement no. Now comes openly to attack the colleagues, judges. The colleagues judges say, one, they are wrong because they don't have original jurisdiction and their jurisdiction has not been properly been revoked. Identity issue is about vacation of MPs, and they are wrong. Jesus Christ. My first problem with Atuguba is that you are on retirement. You have filed a case before you. Your sisters and your brothers have seized with the facts. Application, all the evidence were before them. They have the law. No more apply the law, no. And they are looking it from the angle, say, there is a writer, a woman, alleged, and Article 2 say, Obi violated the constitution by trying to take away Supreme Court for to me to interpret. And then they realize that yes, Speaker have violated the constitution by interpreting the constitution and applying it in a way alleged to say was sacking members of parliament. And your brothers and sisters rule. Then a Supreme Court judge grants interview to stationer led by Captain Smart and people knowing that TV3 a pro MDC station. Atuguba grant interview, and with all the insults and attacking the Supreme Court judges, went and support it, fuel it, say, oh, the Supreme Court, I'm here wrong. Jesus Christ. Meanwhile, Sister Atuguba, have you read the statement of case of the Attorney General? Have you read the submission of the Attorney General? Say the Supreme Court, and we are wrong. Jesus Christ. A senior jurist on retirement. And there's Atuguba, you are not only the only jurist on retirement. We have a lot of the jurists, those who are ahead of you. So for Yakufumu, the Taban who retired before you. And then we have Sophia, Georgina Wood, and other eminent Supreme Court judges. They have retired. They are your seniors. But what I know, say judges no more kasau. What do you pen a true? And if so, judge, we are judge. You must not be seen openly criticizing and attacking your colleagues. Why the public no more attacking, don't know the law? The members of parliament like say people like Jampomo or your political science. There are people like Ayargamu, and then we have a lot of people like Omuni law. We're attacking the Supreme Court because Omunti law say. Then you have a Supreme Court former judge saying that they are wrong. And at the end of the day, no church you were confused because we have a lot of authorities cited to show say the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court were properly invoked. There are a lot of criminal cases. If the Chief Justice, Atuguba have taken his time to read the statement of case of the Attorney General, Obehu say was citing more than 16 to 17 legal authorities to support, say, the Supreme Court had jurisdiction over the matter. Meaning, Supreme Court, to me, so interpreting. Na to me, the man na obiatra parliament interpreting no say that be unis to me na. Amwa born in the same. Na amanfo didi atema na whole Supreme Court judge wo retirement wo brace no. We say, hey, amanfo mwade and you can't tag the judiciary. And the way I would deal with Sir John and Samuel Ukumuno, Hope Sir Doyle at that time, because that time now with the to me, be a kebo be a kebi. You dealt with them, and then what call retirement are your own colleagues at the bench. Colleagues are who retire a cookers na down with him no. Knowing how a judiciary no NDC form prejudicial and assem on the track record that ya killing judges. During time they killed sitting judges. I am matters this and then we know the attitude of NDC. They have never liked the judiciary. Sasu, see, when they come to power now, they will deal with political judges. When you come to, when I say, most of the comment, and then there's so many ways of killing a cat. What do I say? And there's President Mama, the way of attacking the judiciary, and the way NDC don't have respect for the judiciary. Then a senior jurist like you, in retirement, you join these miscreants, you join these people who have no dignity, and you allow them, supported them to attack the Chief Justice and the Supreme Court by saying that they are wrong. Jesus Christ. Just that, Atuguba, I'm so much disappointed in you. You have really undermined the authority of the Supreme Court by what you have said. If you also too know what exposing the Supreme Court judges to public ridicule, hatred, and contempt, you need to be cited for contempt. One guy said, "Atuguba, I said you drag you before the same Supreme Court judge to be dealt with because Sebi, what if the outcome said they are wrong? No, you yourself know you're wrong because you yourself know case now you know only copy. At the time they were granting you an interview, no, you don't have access to the processes of the court, and also on which authority now they make no pronouncements, no, just because you feel so strongly, say person support to one political party, and you want to make sure say this current Chief Justice and the Supreme Court judges, you know, are dealt with. But do you know something? The person is sending signal to all well-meaning Ghanaians.